I'm here in Brisbane, Australia, as part of 7 weeks of travelling. I've already had a quick stop in Singapore and a relaxing week in Perth over on the west coast. If you want to check out those videos, I'll include a link to my travel playlist at the top of the screen. But right now, I've got a couple of weeks to explore the east coast before I fly out of Sydney to continue the journey. Yesterday, I was meant to explore the city, look around the gardens, and do this by taking the ferry along the river. But then, this happened. So obviously, that put an end to yesterday's plan. Hopefully today, we'll have a bit better luck. The weather is starting to brighten up, and it's looking a lot nicer outside. So fingers crossed it stays that way as we go to pick up the hire car and travel north, and hopefully see some of the sights we missed out on yesterday along the way. So the weather is far better than it was yesterday, and thankfully we've had time to make it down to the Botanical Gardens. So I'm having a look around here, actually getting to film with my glide cam, which I didn't yesterday, or much of the holiday really, because it's been pretty windy on the coast where we've been staying. So it's nice to change it up and use this. So let's see what more we can do. So I can't spend too long hanging around these gardens filming, because we've got to head up to the hire car place, which is just up the street, pick up the car, and then start heading north. And there is a viewpoint along the way where you can apparently look back on the city, and hopefully we'll head up there too if we've got time.
After picking up the car, we headed up to the Mount Coot-tha lookout. It was a busy spot with tourist buses, but definitely worth it for the vast view over Brisbane, which would have been a shame to miss. After that, it was time to leave the city behind and travel north up to Noosa Heads. On the way north, we passed the Glasshouse Mountains, which were the first mountains I'd seen since being in Australia. These are lava plugs that remain standing after the softer volcanic cones and surrounding land were weathered away around them. After this short stop, I was back on the road, making it to Noosa just in time to catch the sunset at the beach.
We've spent the day travelling even further north from where we're staying in Noosa, and we've come up past Rainbow Beach, and we're just south of Fraser Island at the minute. Driving up here, I was actually amazed at how green everything is. Coming to Australia, I kind of expected barren landscapes, beaches, which there are lots of, but generally I just thought it was going to be really dry, deserty, and I had no idea we're going to have so many trees, such luscious green colours contrasting with the blue sea. And just walking along this beach here, I found this great tree with these roots coming all the way along through the sand. And if you look back up at it, they're almost leading lines bringing you in towards the tree. So I just found that really interesting and made quite a nice shot. And actually, as I was stood here, I heard this noise just further out there on the beach. And if you look carefully, there's actually these swarms of tiny crabs running across the beach. And as you're walking, they must hear the vibrations in the ground or something, but they all bury themselves in. It's quite cool to kind of stand, stop, watch them all bury down into the sand. And if you stay still for long enough, they'll actually come back up and start walking again. Plan for tonight is to get back, have a little bit of a chilled out evening, and maybe have a barbecue too. That's before we start traveling tomorrow, where we're actually going to begin working our way back south and eventually end up in Sydney. So we've just got to Byron Bay. It already seems like there's loads of things to do here. But first things first, we come up to the lighthouse and there's an absolutely amazing view from up here. Just look at this. So we're going to spend quite a bit of time here and then head off into town to see what else there is to see. But the wind is really picking up as we get up here. So let's see if I can keep my hat on. So where I am now is actually the most easterly point of the Australian mainland. We've just seen some dolphins off the coast there. Didn't really get the chance to film them because I had my wide angle on, so didn't have time to switch lenses and catch it. But also saw some stingrays, so been pretty cool, seen a lot of wildlife around here.
I underestimated how much there was to see at the lighthouse and ended up spending much longer there than anticipated. It was getting late, so it was time to head off to the accommodation for the night and come back the following morning to see the town and the beach.
So we ended up spending quite a long time at the lighthouse yesterday, which was great because there was loads to see around there, but it meant we kind of missed out on seeing Byron Bay itself and walking along the beaches. So that's what we've come to do today. I've got my glide cam here, got a 3-stop ND filter on the Tokina 11-16, just so I don't have to change the shutter speed. But yeah, we're gonna have a walk around and a bit of an explore. There's a little outcrop of rock that I want to check out. I think it's called the Gap, and it looks quite nice. You can climb up there and it might be a nice viewpoint down the beach to get some shots. So let's go and see what it looks like. some shots with the glide cam. The problem is it's been pretty windy, so I've been shooting in slow motion just at 48 frames a second, and when you play that back at 24, the slow motion will just help to smooth out any of the bumps or little mistakes you made while operating. So I think I've got some good stuff here, but we're going to head on because we're running out of time and we've got a lot of mileage to cover today.
I'd seen a lot at Byron Bay, but I know I could easily have spent more time here, though I was keen to get to my next destination, the Blue Mountains. With a 530-mile drive to get there, the journey was split with an overnight stop at Coffs Harbour. The weather began to close in more and more on the way, but fortunately cleared up over the next few days, allowing me to see some amazing sights in the national park, which I'll be sharing in my next video. Until then, I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, and I'll see you next time.